Rise, Meg.
There is a great disturbance in the Force.
So my friends, I don't think I need to tell you how huge this is, but a couple of days ago it was Disney Investor Day and the future of Star Wars was announced. Star Wars is truly alive, so in this video I'm going to go through every single one of Lucasfilm's upcoming projects and what we can expect from them. So we're going to start with the next big Star Wars feature film, Rogue Squadron, which is going to be directed by Patty Jenkins from the Wonder Woman franchise. The story will focus on a new generation of starfighter pilots as they earn their wings and risk their lives in a boundary-pushing high-speed thrill ride and move the saga into the future era of the galaxy. So this is a direct quote from her. "It's been a lifelong dream as a filmmaker to one day make a great fighter pilot film. As the daughter of a great fighter pilot myself, some of the best memories of my life are of seeing my father's squadron take off in their F4s every morning and hearing and feeling the awe-inspiring power and grace. When he passed away in service to this country, it ignited a burning desire to one day channel all of those emotions into one great film. When the perfect story arrived in combination with another true love of mine, the incomparable world of Star Wars, I knew I'd finally found my next film. I'm extremely honored and excited to take on and grateful to Lucasfilm, Disney, and the fans for extending that thrill to me." As excited as I am for this movie, it's going to be, I think, a very different kind of Star Wars film to the ones we've seen in the past. Obviously, this film is in line with Star Wars Squadrons, the video game, and that kind of direction that the franchise is going in. We don't have much information at this point about more details of what the film is going to be about. It seems as though they're giving the whole Jedi versus Sith thing a rest, and they're going to be focusing on fighter pilots and more of a high-speed action-packed kind of film. I'm excited to see all of this, by the way, but this is not the one I'm most hyped for. I will get into the one I'm most excited about later, but let's keep going with the list. The next one is an untitled Taika Waititi film, a brand new Star Wars feature with acclaimed filmmaker and Academy Award winner Taika Waititi is in development. Taika's approach to Star Wars will be fresh, unexpected, and unique, which is what Kathleen Kennedy said. His enormous talent and sense of humor will ensure that audiences are in for an unforgettable ride. All we know about this film is that they've been filming in northern Scotland for scenes that take place on an ice planet in the snowy mountains. That is all we know. We don't know what the film's going to be about, when it's going to be set, so I can't really comment on that. But now we come to the big one, the one that I think everyone who is a prequels fan and an original trilogy fan is looking forward to, Obi Wan Kenobi, the long-anticipated Kenobi series that was first announced last August at the D3 Expo. But now it's been confirmed that not only Ewan McGregor will be reprising the role of Obi Wan Kenobi, but also Hayden Christensen is going to return as Darth Vader. This is going to be epic, and Kathleen Kennedy notably said that this is going to be the rematch of the century. Now, while this does take place a decade after the events of Revenge of the Sith, it's going to explain a lot about Obi-Wan's PTSD and the kind of trauma he went through after losing his friend Anakin to the dark side. Something we can expect is another duel between Vader and Obi-Wan before the one we see in Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope. Now, someone on Reddit pointed this out the other day, that a line from Return of the Jedi could be indicative of this. At one point in episode 6, Luke says to Darth Vader that it isn't too late for him and he could turn back to the light side, and then Vader says, "Obi-Wan once thought as you do." Now, this doesn't really make much sense in context of the film, because what is Vader really referring to? A lot of people seem to be thinking that it's because they did have another confrontation after the one on Mustafar in Revenge of the Sith, where Obi-Wan once more tried to convince Vader back to the light side, one that was probably fueled with less anger and more heartfelt emotions, at least on the part of Obi-Wan, who wanted to save his friend from even more irreparable damage. Something else I want to see from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is Qui-Gon Jinn instructing Obi-Wan. I think that would do huge justice to Qui-Gon's character, at least after The Phantom Menace. And as someone who grew up with the prequel trilogy, this would be absolutely amazing to see. So next up, my friends, we have the Ahsoka Tano spin-off series. I think this one is a little bit more easy to speculate about, given what she's been up to in Chapter 13 of The Mandalorian, The Jedi. She said that she's looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, I think we've seen the last of Ahsoka in The Mandalorian, at least for this season, and I think the spin-off series will show her quest to find Ezra and go after Thrawn. So the Star Wars Wars news website says, after making her long-awaited live-action debut in The Mandalorian, Ahsoka Tano's story written by Dave Filoni will continue in a limited series starring Rosario Dawson and executive producer Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. So knowing that the so-called dream team of Lucasfilm, which is Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, are going to be working on this series, it's a must-watch, I would say. Next up, we have Rangers of the New Republic. Set within the timeline of The Mandalorian, this new live-action series from executive producers Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will intersect with future stories and culminate into a climactic story event. So a couple of you in the comments yesterday said that you think this could be the Bo-Katan / Cara Dune spin-off series, and I think that's absolutely correct, considering it takes place during the events of Mando, which is 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and also knowing that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are also working on this one, I definitely think it's more than likely they're going to tie in some loose ends from this season of Mando, notably to do with Cara Dune and her quest, her struggle, leaving the New Republic, then rejoining it again, and also seeing what Bo-Katan Kryze and the Night Owls have also been up to. Next we have the Lando series, Lando Calrissian. Everyone's favourite scoundrel Lando will return in a brand new event series exclusive to Disney+. Justin Simeon, creator of the critically acclaimed Dear White People and a huge Star Wars fan, is developing the story. So here's the thing, they could go in two directions. They could either set this before the events of The Empire Strikes Back to give kind of like a prelude to Lando's character in episode 5, or it will take place after the Battle of Endor in Return of the Jedi and basically fill in the gap between his appearance in episode 6 and in The Rise of Skywalker. An interesting thing that happened in chapter 15 of The Mandalorian was that one girl who looked strikingly like a young version of Janna from The Rise of Skywalker. In my opinion, it was quite obvious that J.J. Abrams in The Rise of Skywalker was trying to link Lando Calrissian's character to Janna. We're not sure if she's his daughter or they're related, but I think they might tie that in. If the girl we saw was indeed Janna, they might link the two somehow and Lando might pass by that village. Who knows how they're going to do that. But in my mind, the Lando series is a must-watch. So next up we have the Andor series, which is obviously about Cassian Andor from Rogue One. Now this one I've seen a lot of people show not too much interest in. But if you love Rogue One, you're going to love this because it's not just about Cassian Andor, it's about the time in which he's living in before the events of A New Hope. And you know, we might get some more awesome Darth Vader action against rebels, we might even see Emperor Palpatine, who knows how they're going to do this. But according to the Star Wars website, Andor is a tense, nail-biting spy thriller created by Tony Gilroy and is set to arrive on Disney Plus in 2022. And then our next series is The Acolyte. This one is created by Leslie Headland, the Emmy Award nominated creator of the mind-bending series Russian Doll. This is bringing a new kind of Star Wars series to Disney+, and this one is a mystery thriller that will take the audience into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. I think reading the High Republic books that come out next month beforehand is going to be very beneficial to understanding the plot of this. Up next we have Star Wars The Bad Batch, which is a spin-off series of the Clone Wars. The series follows the elite and experimental clones of the Bad Batch as they find their way in a rapidly changing galaxy in the immediate aftermath of the Clone War. Members of the Bad Batch, a unique squad of clones who vary genetically from their brothers in the Clone Army, each possess a singular exceptional skill which makes them extraordinarily effective soldiers and a formidable crew. They will take on daring mercenary missions as they struggle to stay afloat and find new purpose. So then we have Star Wars Visions. This is an all-new creative take on a galaxy far, far away, and it's going to be a series of animated short films celebrating Star Wars through the lens of the best anime creators. The anthology collection will bring 10 fantastic visions from several of the leading Japanese anime studios, offering a fresh and diverse cultural perspective to Star Wars. So this is going to be like Star Wars meets anime. I'm not a huge anime fan, but I can imagine this being very interesting, so I'm willing to give it a chance. And finally, we have A Droid Story. Now, I'm strangely really compelled by this one, simply because I love R2-D2 and C-3PO. I think they are the heart and soul of Star Wars. They were the characters in 1977 that made the initial Star Wars audiences fall in love with the franchise in the first place. And George Lucas always said that the Star Wars Skywalker saga is supposed to be seen from the perspective of the little astromech droid R2. So let's see how they describe this one. As Lucasfilm continues to develop new stories, the intersection of animation and visual effects offers new opportunities to explore. Lucasfilm Animation will be teaming up with Lucasfilm's visual effects team, Industrial Light and Magic, to develop a special Star Wars adventure for Disney+. A Droid Story is an epic journey that will introduce us to a new hero guided by legendary duo R2 and C-3PO. So look, I'm super hyped for all of these announcements. Some of them were not Star Wars related, but rather were what Lucasfilm will work on in the future to do with Indiana Jones. And I know Harrison Ford, who of course played Indiana Jones and also Han Solo in Star Wars, is coming back to play Indy. So now I turn it over to you guys. Which of these are you most looking forward to see? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts, your predictions, what we can expect. It's such a huge time to be a Star Wars fan. Star Wars is alive in a new direction on the smaller screen, and we also have a big feature film in 3 years' time. So I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.